Yes.
Now let's go with the consonant sounds. Okay.
Yes.
The first one, for example, will be p, p in pig, right? Pepper, pig,
Pig.
party, right? And so on, right? P is like a bilabial sound. Both of these sounds are bilabial, so you have to, let's say, use your both lips, right? B, b, right? The only difference between this one and the next one will be the action of vocal cords, right?
Yeah.
Both are bilabial. Both are plosive sounds. I mean, they explode at once in your mouth. You release them at once in your mouth. But in this one, it's going to be used with the vocal cords. Is b, b. For example, bed,
Bed.
beetroot.
Bed.
You see, and banter, and blood, and so on, right? The same sound. Usually, it is, let's say, both of these sounds are linked directly with the letters, right? With the letter P or the letter B, right? Or maybe you will find it with a double P here or a double B here, right? But there is no other difference between them.
Yeah.
In that sense. Now, the next one is like a t sound. Okay. And in here, you have to, let's say, place the tip of your tongue against, let's say, the first part of your palate, right behind your teeth. And then you have to release t. For example, in words like time. You see? Time. Tom. Tin. Take.
Tank.
Exactly, right? And the next one is actually practically the same, but with the vocal cords, right? It's a d sound.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do, they. You see? Things like this, right? Read. It's in the end, right? Read.
Yeah.
See? Now, the following one is like a combination, you see, because you will find this one, a combination between this one that we're going to check later, and this one. Okay?
Yeah.
As you can see, it's like a combination of both. And it's actually, let's say, a sound that you have to release at once, but in a more relaxed way. It's like church. Church, exactly, right? Church. On the other hand, we have the same sound practically. And as you can see, it's a combination of this one with this one, right? And it will sound pretty much like the same as this, but with the vocal cords. Judge.
Judge.
You see? In this case, for example, this one is, let's say, it's harder to pronounce than this one, in the sense that you have to, let's say, release it at once, ch, versus this one that is more relaxed and is like shh. You see? That's the sound, right? In this case, for example, this is, let's say, a more explosive to produce than this one, because this is going to be like G. You see?
G, yes.
For example, these two are going to be pronounced like short. Okay? Short. And casual. That was good, man. Yeah. Good. See? So again, let's move. We're going to move a little bit, let's say, back in the mouth. I'm going with the k sound. This is a velar sound, something that you have to feel in the soft part of your palate. It's like that's where the point of articulation. It's like k, killer. And on the other hand, for example, okay, I don't know, kilo, architect, right? Chemistry, and all these sounds that have a ch or a k, right? On the other hand, we have, for example, g. I mean, g. Go. It's a very hard sound, actually. Go.
Yes.
Go. A go. You see, things like that, right? Explain this sound. Now, in this case, we're going to move to the fricative sounds, okay? And by fricative, I mean something that, let's say, in which you let the air flow through a small so a small opening in your mouth, right? That you can produce with different parts of your, let's say your mouth in this case. For example, in the case of 5, is a labiodental sound. 5, 5.
Right.
Exactly
Right.
right. 5, father, friend, and so on, right?
Yes.
Now we have v, you see, and v is practically the same. It's actually the same, right? But with the action of the vocal cords is v, very, very, very,
Very.
very,
Very.
very, right?
Yes.
You see that things like this, right?
Yeah.
Next, we have, for example, this th, this sound that is linked to the th letters. You see, and you will
Yeah.
find it, for example, this sound. You have in which you have to stick your tongue out, and you have to put it in between your teeth, right?
Yes.
You see, in
Think.
this case, think, think,
Think.
think.
Think. Yeah.
You see, and in this case, it's practically the same, but with the action of the vocal cords again, right? So we have
Yeah.
in this case the.
The.
See?
The.
Sorry, okay.
The. That is the difference, I think.
Exactly like the. You see?
The. Yes.
It's very relaxed, and you can, let's say, keep it flowing in time, right? It's the, right? You can do it in that way too.
Yes.
Now we have, for example, in this case, a combination that is, let's say, I mean, the following sound would be like s, 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 right? In which
Yes.
the tip of your tongue is going to let the air flow.
Yeah.
Let's say in combination with the beginning of the palate in this case. You see, so it's going to be like 6, 6,
6, 6,
6, 6. In this case, what I hear, for example, in your case, Lila, is that, for example, you use more than the tip of your tongue. Try to use just the tip. 6.
Yes.
You see, 6, right? And on the other hand, you have, for example, z, z, z. It's the same, right? But with the action of the vocal cords one more time. Z, 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 right?
Yes.
That's it, right? That's pretty much how it goes. Okay?
Yes.
We already checked these ones. So we're going to move forward, okay? Now we have, for example, these nasal consonants that are going to be these 3, okay?
Yes.
And in this case, this like M, the bilabial nasal. Okay? In words like milk, mum.
Milk.
Exactly, right? Mum, mother,
Mother.
male, for example.
Male.
You see? Now we have, for example, the alveolar nasal that is like right?
Yes.
No, nothing, and so on. Exactly, right? Nothing, innovative, and so on, right? Now this one is like the velar nasal, and it's like okay? If you look at my face right now, you will see that, for example, I make it like an I can open my mouth, and I can feel the sound here, right? You see? It's pretty much what happens, for example, when you find this combination between N and G, you usually pronounce it like especially when it comes in final position, right? For example, in sing, sing,
Shin.
sing, right?
Shin. Yes.
Thing, thing, everything, nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing, right? That's it. And that's, let's say, those are the nasal consonants, right? Now, for example, the next one is going to be Velar 2. Velar 2. That's like an aspiration, right? Like hello, hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Hotel. Abhor. That's like abhor, like this, right?
Abhor. What's the
Exactly.
meaning? Abhor.
Abhor is like to hate very deeply, right?
Yeah.
Abhor, yeah, hate too, right? It has the sound too. The next one are going to be these are called liquid sounds, liquid consonants,
Yeah.
mainly because they can be, let's say, easily combined with other consonants, you see, and they, let's say,
Yeah.
create this liquid, fluid transition sometimes. So in this case, we can have, for example, in which you have to put the tip of your tongue, let's say, in behind your teeth, and you have to let the air come out from the sides of your mouth, like You see, live, live,
Live.
exactly right. Live, look,
Live
milk,
or life. Live or life.
live,
There is a
live.
difference.
I mean, in this particular, let's say, word, you can pronounce it either way with different meanings. You see, live is the action. You see,
Live.
and live is, for example, when you are broadcasting something right on the spot and right at the same time it is happening. You see,
Yes. Yes.
that's live. You see,
Life. Yeah.
but it's written in the same way. So you have to pay attention to the pronunciation there. It marks the difference.
Oh.
And on the other hand, we have, for example, the sound, the
Oh. Oh.
This one has, let's say, a particularity in which you will have to, let's say, try to push the tip of your tongue backwards, right? Like It's like you're trying to. It's like, for example, if you put a pen here, for example, in your mouth, and you were trying to push, let's say, pull it into your mouth, you should, like, say, try to do that particular movement in which the tip of your tongue will try to cover, will have to try to do this towards the back of your mouth, right? And that way you can produce this sound. Read,
Read.
and record.
Read and record. Yes.
Read and record, right? You see? Read. Especially in British English, there will be some context in which this one is not going to be pronounced, especially before consonants or by the end of words. It's not generally pronounced, but it will be pronounced generally intervocalically, right? When you have between vowels, it will be pronounced, right? Now, the following two are called semi-consonants or semi-vowels because they are not either one or the other thing, right? And another sound that they receive is glides, you see? And by glides, they mean, let's say, to go from one point to the other in a very smooth way, you know? So this sound is actually called a labiovelar sound, right? You have to feel it here in your lips, and you have to feel it here in your velar, right? And it's like woo, 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 woo. What? Window. Window. That's it. You have to feel the vibration in your lips too, and you know you are doing it all right. You see? Window, what, when, where, and all these sounds, all these words that start with WH, how this sound in particular. On the other hand, and finally, we have this sound that is like yeah. See?
Yeah.
It's not like like this one.
Yes.
But it is neither E, right? It's right in between. It's like yeah. In words like, in all these words that have, for example, this Y letter Y, you can pronounce it like yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
You.
Yes.
Exactly. Yes. You.
Yes.
Yoke. Right?
Yoke. Yeah.
Exactly right. Like, exactly right. That's pretty much it. That's how you do it, right? And that's pretty much the way. I mean, it's going to appear usually. Usually, it's going to show up before "u" in when you are writing something. For example, it was with "u." Sometimes it appears before them. For example, usually.
Usually.
Usually, right?
Yeah.
It was like usual again, right? Usually, usual, unique,
Usual, unique,
university.
university. Yeah.
Exactly, right? Has this little y sound before them,
Yeah.
you see? So that's pretty much how you describe all of this.
Yes.
Uh,
You have described this particular phonetic sound.
yeah, mate, that's it.
Okay. Oh my God. You are the master of phonetic sound, I think, because you describe it very well.
Yeah, it was
And
tough
that's
to learn all of them.
a very funny teacher.
Do you think so? Thank you.
How do you teach phonetics to your student in fun way?
I mean, in a fun way, it's always challenging to find a fun way to see this because it's actually when you talk about phonetics mainly,
Mhm.
it's always hard science. It is something that you have to, let's say, it is something that is hard to describe in a fun way because it's full of technicalities.
Yes.
And so a very good way to see it, for example, is by practicing funny phrases in which one particular sound is exploited and let's say practice constantly, right? For example, with my students, I tend to send them every day a little phrase so they can, let's say, practice uh, focusing on one particular sound. I try to make them funny so that they can remember them more easily. Um, and in that sense, I try to, in classes, I try to, let's say, show them how to pronounce it like very carefully. And so we
Yeah.
can continue let's say, with the practice every day with a little phrase or something that they can, let's say, produce on their own.
Yes.
Uh,
Okay. If I would like to learn phonetics and to be a master of phonetic sound like you, because you are the master of phonetic sound, so
oh,
how can will I learn phonetic at my home by
I mean,
using internet?
there are many sources, right? Many, let's say, uh, YouTube channels and let's say people working on pronunciation. I actually recommend a lot these phonetic channels, especially when they come from native speakers,
Mhm.
because it's a very fun way, let's say, to check the source of the sound, right? You will hear a person who was born with these
Yes.
sounds, pronouncing them especially for you, right? So you will have the chance to produce them on your own. Now, try to record yourself. That's a good idea, right? Because you can compare. You can always
Yes.
compare. That's actually a very good method to tune your ears because you have to work on your ears too, right? Not only with your pronunciation, right? Not only, let's say,
Yes.
producing sound, but also receiving sounds and mark the difference between them. And you can actually record yourself and compare, right? Okay, this doesn't sound pretty much like I want to achieve. What do I have to know? What do I have to do? Maybe in that case, when you have become, let's say, when you are, let's say, you have checked your sounds and when you have, let's say, made some progress about it,
Yes.
you may need some specialized help, and
Mhm.
and maybe you will have to go to a person who has studied it or who can, let's say, help you with specific details. But you can make a lot of progress on your own, right? But just listen to yourself methodically and honestly, right? uh,
Yes.
and let's say comparing your speech to native speakers' speech.
Mhm.
I'm not
Yeah.
telling you to be like a native speaker, but if you want to
No,
improve
no,
your
you are also a
pronunciation,
native English speaker.
exactly,
I should
right?
compare with your with your speech because
Exactly right.
you are speaking very like native English speaker and you are also a native English speaker. I realize that.
Yeah, it's been just a matter of practice, just a matter of practice and constantly speaking to other people, right?
Mhm.
I've been teaching English for 8 years, and I started speaking English after I started making classes, right? So at university, for example, I was not the most talkative person. So I had to, let's say, start teaching English at the schools to start exploiting this, let's say, these speaking aspects of my English. So that's pretty much what I can tell you right now, mate.
Okay, Joyce, my mate. You do such a great job and you do such a great work. Your talks are so beautiful and very useful that you have shared today for me and for my viewer. So we will do another. Yeah, we will do another conversation in this particular activities, in this kind of particular activities in the future. So thank you very much for your precious time that you gave us today, and nice talking with you. So okay.
The pleasure is all mine, mate. Thanks so much for inviting.
Yeah, take care of yourself and see you again in the next conversation.
See you, mate. Bye-bye.